It's a great day for a para-ice hockey game as you're looking outside the Gangneung Hockey Center, and these are the beautiful scenes across the Olympic and Paralympic Park here in Gangneung on the east coast of the Republic of Korea. It's the World Para-Ice Hockey Championships that are currently at stake, but next March it's going to be the Paralympic Gold that is on contest for any of the nations in the tournament that we have been enjoying all week. It's game day 7 as we go inside the Gangneung Hockey Center to see what is up next in match number 2. And welcome inside. It is the United States of America taking on the host Republic of Korea. And this is a particular match that's got more and more interesting as we have gone on through the course of this tournament. Republic of Korea have been fantastic. They currently sit in 3rd position in the tournament standings. And of course, United States of America currently sitting in 2nd simply by right of the fact that they haven't played as many games as Canada, who sit at top of the table. I'm Brent Pope alongside again Mike Kelly. And this one here, Mike, is a very interesting one. Canada get a 2-0 victory over Republic of Korea. Be very interesting to see how this one plays out today.
Yeah, this Republic of Korea team has surprised a lot of people in this tournament, maybe even surprised themselves a little bit. We remember in 2015 they were in the B pool, which they won, so they come here to the A pool as they are the host nation, but every bit deserving for the top 5 qualification that they have already got to the 2018 Paralympic Games that will be played in Pyeongchang next year. So a really strong finish for them in this tournament is what they'll be looking for here against the Americans. And as you mentioned, they did give the Canadians a good game. It was a 2-0 finish. The Americans know that this is going to be a difficult game for them. So even though the United States has already clinched a spot in the gold medal game, they will play Canada. And even though the Republic of Korea has already clinched a spot in the bronze medal game, we don't yet know who they will play. There's still a lot of pride on the line here. Both of these countries want to finish this tournament strong.
And of course, that remaining 4th position will be determined with the last game of game day 7. But we'll keep on this one here. Mike earlier had a chance to catch up with the Republic of Korea coaching staff, and they give us our thoughts or their thoughts ahead of this one.
The coach, I understand there's a couple of lineup changes here as you guys get set to play the Americans.
Yeah, so yesterday game and today game is different. So goalie changes, and today game number 2, Jeong Lee, and it's a suspension penalty is finished at the 27. So Byung-Seok Jo. So today we'll play game. So different change.
You get set here to play a very tough American team. What's the game plan heading into this game? You guys gave Canada a really good game, a 2-0 final there. What are you going to try to do here against the Americans?
So today game same defense system. So first focus the breakout, and so defense, focus the defense. And it's a nitrogen and dump and check and smart game. So today games, I hope so the same defense and it's the same game today.
A lot of media here covering the event lately, especially with the last game against Italy, and now some more media broadcasting the game here as well today. What have you thought about the exposure as you guys have done so well in this tournament? It really seems to be picking up steam for you.
So in Korea, it's a famous para-ice hockey team Korea, but we always focus in games, so best game and good performance. So I hope so that focus the media and next in the Paralympic for the Paralympic. So I hope so that.
You guys have a real game breaker in Young Si-won, number 14 on your team. Very fast player, scored a lot of points for you, your leading scorer so far in this tournament. What does he mean to your team?
So he's the best player in Team Korea, and so many fast in the team counter and make a chance. He's a very, very good player in Team Korea.
A final question for you. You guys are locked into that 3rd spot here in the tournament standings. It means you will play for a medal tomorrow, the bronze medal. What does that mean for your country as you guys continue to develop?
Tomorrow game is a bronze medal game, so maybe Italy or Norway. So we prepared any teams, so we prepared it, and so we first get the medal. So tomorrow game, so we will do the best tomorrow and today, and next we talk about the tomorrow game.
Well, best of luck here against the United States, and thanks for doing the interview.
Thank you very much.
So there is more media here than we've seen all tournament long for the Republic of Korea as they get set for a big matchup against the world champion United States of America. And as Coach talked about, there are a couple of lineup changes, which we'll fill you in on as well and do a little bit greater detail. Going with a bit of a different look here in goal for this game is the Republic of Korea. They will go with Lee Jae-woong, number 2. Both goaltenders have appeared in 5 games so far in this tournament, but it's 31 Gangneung who has played a lion's share of the minutes, 75 minutes for Lee Jae-woong in this tournament. He's only allowed 1 goal, so he has been fantastic. Also back in the lineup is number 27, Cho Byung-suk, back from missing a couple games from suspension. And of course, all eyes always on the Rocket Man.
Jung Si-won, there you see him, number 14. He's the game breaker for Republic of Korea. 8 points in this tournament, 5 goals. He leads from the front, and we will expect the same here today against the Americans. And speaking of the Americans, Mike also had a chance to catch up with their head coach, Guy Goslin, ahead of the match.
So, Coach, your team has yet again locked up top spot in this tournament. Just what does it mean for you guys to end up finishing first place here at the World Championship in the preliminary round?
Well, we came to do a job, and the guys responded very well, and you know, that's part of the battle, and we still need to work hard, continue the tournament until the last game.
How do you keep the team motivated here in this game, as you don't want to try to look too far ahead to the gold medal game, which will come up tomorrow?
Well, you know, all these guys like to play hockey, and they've had a lot of hockey lately. They're focused for today, and then we'll move on and get ready for tomorrow.
A tough Republic of Korea team here. We saw them give Canada a really good game, a 2-0 final in this tournament, and another very close game, which they played recently against the Italians. What kind of challenges do you see them presenting?
Well, they've got a good hockey team. They play with a lot of passion. We're in their homeland. They're going to come out and you know, try to give us a good hockey game here, and our guys have to be prepared.
You talk about the home crowds here and the home ice advantage for this Republic of Korean team. What have you thought just in the tournament in general of the crowds here and the passion that we've seen from them?
Well, I think that people are enjoying it. It's a test event. I'm sure we're going to see more next year. There's no doubt about that, but it's been a good tournament so far, and very positive.
A really dynamic player on this Korean team is number 14, Jung Si-won. He's very, very fast, leading scorer for this team. What do you guys have to do to try to neutralize his speed and keep him off the score sheet?
Well, anytime you have a player like that that's talented and has that skill set, we need to get in his way and take away ice. We don't go chasing. We have to hold our positions and hopefully eliminate that threat.
Best of luck today, Coach.
Thank you.
We seem to talk about it ahead of every single United States of America game, but the players just keep on producing, so that's who we'll talk about. We'll start with number 4, Brody Roybal, also number 16, Declan Farmer, a pair of teenagers for this team. They're the only players in the team with over 10 points. Roybal, 6 goals, 5 assists, coming off a hat trick, and also coming off a hat trick, the other guy, 16, Declan Farmer.
Well, they're unbelievable. The two of them are the 1-2 punch for America, and we expect the same again here today against Republic of Korea. Still teenagers and in the prime of their lives, and still already, as we talk about, Declan Farmer, not only with a single highest total in a World Championship tournament with those 11 goals, but equally he has the all-time record already at the age of 19. So these are the superstars of the sport, and you watch them in warm-up, their puck handling ability, their shooting ability, and you know, you talk about Steve Cash being so sensational in goal for United States, but how about facing those shooters all the time in practice? It'll make you better too.
Oh, no question about it. And Declan Farmer, as you just touched on, the USA all-time leader in World Championship scoring, single event and all-time. He's been phenomenal for this team, and he'll be a game breaker here against the Republic of Korea, who, as we mentioned, only a 2-0 loss to Canada earlier in this tournament. So we are certainly expecting a competitive matchup as we wrap things up here on day 7 with game number 2. It's coming up next.
And welcome back inside the Gangneung Hockey Center as the referees are just making their way out onto the ice and getting everything into position. There is our Norwegian referee, Owen Luthke, and he has on his flanks the Swedish linesman, Andreas Lunden, and from the Czech Republic, it is Jan Vanek that are in charge of this hockey game. Of course, a 3-official system in para ice hockey. Both teams are set and ready to appear, and the visitors officially in this one, Mike, are going to be Republic of the Korea, but they have a great crowd here in front of us on our side, and as we have seen so often in this tournament, flags in abundance and the fans in full anticipation of another strong Korean performance.
That's what they'll be hoping for as we take a look at the United States of America. They have been so good in this tournament, so good in every tournament. As we mentioned, the last 11 international events, the United States has played for gold. They've won it 9 times. So it will be 12 as we get set for the gold medal game tomorrow, and we will wait to see who wins that game between the United States and Canada, but certainly not a game to be overlooked, as other than Canada, this is the next best team in this tournament, the Republic of Korea. They've allowed 7 goals in this tournament in 5 games, so they can be stingy defensively. They go with Lee Jae-woong in net today, 75 minutes of ice time, and he's only allowed 1 goal. He stopped 9-4-1 is his save percentage. So a little over 94% of the shots that have come his way. He's been great for this team. We'll see if they can lock it down defensively here against a potent American attack.
And now with number 12 on defense as well, the assistant captain, Kim Young-sung, got a goal in the last game. We've seen that left-handed striking ability from the blue line on the power play, equally just moving the puck around. They've got a steady pair of hands back there, but really their number 14, Chung Si-won, is the one to be looking for. Everything basically runs through him, as we're going to see Steve Cash, the money man, in goal. And in a game like this, you just get a sense that Steve Cash raises his game, depending, of course, on the opposition. He's always sharp, and he's always on it, but he's an emotional player as well. And you could just see in warm-up, he was very punctuated in his preparation for this one.
This is setting up to be a great matchup. We look at a number of players for the United States who will put up big points in this tournament. Josh Paul's the defenseman, 8 points already. A team high plus 17 as well. So a lot of weapons for both teams here. And I think for the Republic of Korea, Brent, you'll likely agree, for them, in the first couple of minutes, if they can find a way to get a chance or two, maybe sneak in the first goal of the game, that could go a long way for them in building confidence as they get set to take on a very strong opponent.
Canada scored the first goal. It was on a loose play, maybe a little bit of a broken play, and in front of the goal was Tyler McGregor to score it, and that got Canada up front, and they held on for a while when it was ultimately a power play, maybe a little bit of an easy one given back by Canada, and then, of course, the United States capitalized on that, and then Declan Farmer, as he's so capable of doing, he's a game breaker. He makes really something of nothing as you look at the American coaching staff. Remember, this is Guy Goslin's first tournament as the head coach officially in charge of this program. And we forget so quickly that they have gone through so much, this American team, over the last course of the last few months, with the late passing, of course, of their coach, Jeff Sauer. And now they are here again. It's almost as if they don't skip a beat, and it's an incredible testimony to just how mentally tough and emotionally strong this American team is.
No question about that. Take a look at Steve Cash, the money man in goal for the United States of America. In 5 games, he's only faced 24 shots, stopped 22 of them, so he hasn't been terribly busy, but we expect this game and the next one to be 2 of the more competitive games for this team in this tournament on back-to-back days. So the real fun for the United States begins pretty much right now, as we are setting up for what we believe to be a fairly competitive game here between 2 teams that are guaranteed to be playing for a medal tomorrow.
And those medal colors have, in fact, well, almost been determined. It will be a bronze medal that Korea will, in fact, be competing for. And United States, well, they will again, as you say, be hunting for another goal and turn it into double digits return as the first shot comes in from Korea, and that bodes well for them to get the puck in the offensive zone in this opening minutes and try to create some offense. But Declan Farmer right through the middle of the ice here, the offload to McKee, and McKee, who is such a handy player on this line, maybe doesn't get the same credit as Farmer and Roybal. But there's a shot, and it's off the shoulder, and what a save by Lee Jae-woong, and that'll just help the Korean keeper just to get himself into this hockey game.
Great to feel the puck early in the game, and that was a grade A scoring opportunity for the most prolific goal scorer in this tournament, Declan Farmer. A huge opening save there. Try to instill some confidence here in his teammates. Big stop. And here come the Americans again. It's Roybal.
And they make a line change to the Koreans that really invites that trouble. You don't give the opportunity to the Americans any more than they'll create for themselves. They all went on a wholesale line change, and on the transition, quickly coming back is the USA, and they're forced to recover, and they end up taking a penalty here. And it's Gangneung who goes off to the box first for Korea, and right just over a minute gone into this one, and we're going to see this American power play.
A 2-minute teen penalty here for the 41-year-old playing in his third World Championship. And not the start you want for the Republic of Korea. The last thing that you need is to give this high-powered attack an opportunity with the man advantage. As Cash comes out of the net here to play the puck, and the first man in on it for the Americans will be Landeros.
And Landeros just making that play. It's a little bit misaligned. That pass, not a bad shot in. There's that big, heavy hand that we talk about. Kim Young-sung gets a great clearance in here. And look at this little bit of chaos coming in on this penalty kill. Lee Jung-sung able, of course, just to slow things up for a moment. But the Americans recollect the puck, and they're offloading. They're laying off right now is exceptional. They've got a great sense for each other as Landeros comes around the outside. He'll shoot, and it's a great test there. Again, this time getting a glove hand to it. That first save off the shoulder, and maybe sometimes that's a little bit more fortunate than it is maybe by design, because the goaltenders always prefer, if they can, to catch it with their glove hand. Need to be careful here, and they're going to get called for another one. And 5 against 3.
Absolutely, that's a holding penalty right there. That's as clear as they come. Kim Young-sung taking the penalty, the 33-year-old. And he just got beat by a faster player, and he was forced to use his open arm to latch on. That could not have been more in front of the official if he tried. The official was about 1.5 feet away from him, and that's a clear-cut penalty. So now a minute plus 5-on-3 power play time here, as you see Wallace just getting away with the puck, and well, that's 2 full hands wrapped around, a little bear hug there, and off to the penalty box you go.
5-on-3, Roybal right down the middle, a shot, and they score. It goes off the blocker, and it's in the back of the net. Just as quick as it develops, the Americans take full advantage of the 2 players that they have in the penalty box.
Well, it took them less than 15 seconds from the second penalty to find a goal. Just so much open ice here for the United States, as there's only 3 Korean defenders on the ice. And that's a point-blank shot from the slot into the back of the net. Brody Roybal got his 7th goal of the tournament. He's second on the team, of course, to Declan Farmer with 11 goals for Farmer. These 2 generated all of the offense in the last game for the Americans, hat tricks each. And they continue to supply the offense here. Landeros carries in to Roybal again. Here's Farmer with an opportunity. It sails wide. Still a 1.5 minutes to go on the power play.
So yes, still with that player advantage, and neither Farmer or Roybal afraid to shoot. There's McKee off the post, and he gets a little bit of a tug on his hand as he's about to shoot, but he's accurate enough. It goes off the post. Didn't quite get the elevation maybe he would have liked, but here, again, the Americans setting up, and this cannot be cleared with the first attempt by Korea. And again, the Americans so pesky on that puck. They do not give anything away easily, and Korea are going to have to work extremely hard to try and clear this down the length of the ice. Good battle in the corner, though. This out front, and they've got it this time, finally. And this may put a little bit of a dent in the remaining portion of this American power play.
Well, that was the 4th opportunity for the Koreans to clear the puck there in the penalty kill. They do a good job to get it out, but if it's going to take them 3+ chances to get the puck out when they do have opportunities, they're going to get burned before not too long. So we'll see if they can do a better job of it here as they manage to get it out on a nice clear there by Cho Byung-suk.
And we're seeing early in this game just how quick the Americans are, how quick they are closing down time and space. They recover so well, and you get a sense that the Americans have taken their game up a notch here. And depending, as we say, against the opponent, they just have that big game ability, and they already here against Korea. It was Roybal coming down the middle, just took no mistake with that chance. Here's another one potentially for the United States. It's just fading off and was anticipating that play. McDermott elected just to turn to the corner.
Yeah, McDermott would have been better served there to just keep going to that far post for an opportunity. The pass wasn't coming as he saw that, but there was still support there by the American forwards. And if he had just gone to the far post, there could have been a wide open opportunity for him.
Big hit coming in. Adam Page out on the ice, and some first action there as long as well with Chris Douglas, a big body Douglas out there, and he just puts it to McDermott. And this line just providing some physicality right now as Douglas still with his puck, and he's making the Koreans have to work hard to get it off of his stick. And there is the Rocket Man just trying to make a feed, and this is more positive from Korea, and a little lofted play in. They have also some great hand-eye coordination and power to be able to get these clearances in, and of course these shots as Andy Yohe comes in just to tidy things up for the Americans as they look to break out again. Across this line, and maybe just a little bit misguided there. Page is waiting for an opening, can't get through. It's still alive, and down watching it is Lee Jae-woong. In behind though is the good work from Adam Page. This unit with Douglas has had a nice shift, just giving a little bit of respite for that number one unit as Yohe shoots it in, and just front on. It goes off of the feet on the sled of Lee Jae-woong into the corner. And this really has been a strong performance so far from the U.S. in this Korean zone, as you see all the excitement from the Korean fans down there in front, and they're seeing a lot of action right there as they support the Koreans. They're sat in their defensive zone.
Well, here comes Landeros. We've seen him in this tournament come through the neutral zone with so much speed, such an effective puck mover on the back end for the United States as they complete a line change. And here's Wallace, who's had a really good couple of last games. Centering pass, unable to connect with Rico Roman, but such great puck possession and puck movement so far in the opening 7 or so minutes here by the Americans.
One of the things that Landeros does so well, not only his speed, but his strength on the puck. As you try to take him off of it, he's just got great upper body strength, and he's able just to hang on that puck, and nothing comes away from him cheaply, as this is a feed to him on the backside, and he'll just turn up towards his own blue line. He recycles the puck as they all come out of here with us. Rico Roman back down low. Great feed. This is trying to get it to Shaws, and this is a good unit here of Rico Roman and Shaws. And there is Tyler Caron out there, but the big body you talk about of Wallace, he's a heavy player down low to manage for this Korean side as they try to break and come forward, but how quick the Americans are to close them down all over the ice.
Yep, just getting the pucks a little bit quicker than the Koreans are able to right now. As they'll look to start a breakout here off the bench. They've got a man through the neutral zone, and unable to corral that puck was Lee Chu-sung. That would have been a good opportunity maybe to get some zone time, and now the Americans are entering the Korean zone with numbers here as they'll elect to play it behind the net.
Wallace, a big body. There's a good contact in behind, but Wallace takes that initial hit, advances in the zone. He might be able to bank it off, and fortunate for Korea, comes right through their slot area. And this Roybal a shot, Landeros, and there it just goes right across the face of goal. And they have really got Korea on the ropes right now. They need to be careful not to concede a second.
That puck trickled right behind the goaltender and right along the goal line, and fortunate there for Lee Jae-woong that puck didn't end up going off of him and into the back of the net. We've played quite some time now without a whistle. The Americans all sorts of chances, but good job by the Koreans to hold them off the score sheet.
And they've done well just to get that little bit of a clearance. It allows for one, maybe two line changes, and they need that. as they can get a little bit more flow to their game and try to just get themselves into this hockey game. That goal by Roybal on the power play, 5 against 3, really takes advantage of that opening chance. But this is Farmer now. He goes across to McKee. Farmer's going to try to go to the far post, cut to the net, and get this puck back. And that's the thing, just even when you think he's momentarily out of the play, he's so quickly back into it. You have to just almost have one player tracking him at all times, but that's not necessarily the Korean style of play. They also have a transition game that they like to counter the opponents that they've played in this tournament. But Farmer to Roybal, and now they'll see if they can't get the Rocket Man unleashed, but he'll be taken away quickly by Pauls, and you see a demonstration there from Josh Pauls of why he's a plus 17. Everything he really does on the ice for United States is a positive.
He really does a great job of controlling things from the back end. He's very capable defensively, and he's always in good position. And we've seen him rush the puck as well. As icing waved off here, we will continue. I'm not sure exactly how long it's been without a whistle, but we got to be coming up around 6 or 7 minutes here.
Yeah, it's been wide open, and it will continue to be. Look at Farmer go. The offload, maybe just a little too far ahead of Roybal. But look at Roybal. He just goes out and around, makes it look easy. Is he going to bank one in on the short side here? What a play and a sensational catch there from Lee Jae-woong. But the demonstration of speed and persistence from Brody Roybal is nothing but sensational.
That's the great connection we've seen all tournament. Roybal and Farmer, perhaps the best chemistry of any two players in this tournament. McKee with an opportunity as well. The winger there, 5:13 to go. It's 1-0 United States.
We rejoin action in this first period. 5:13 remains. United States with that one power play goal, the lone goal in the game so far. It is Brody Roybal who took that great feed and made short work of the opportunity coming down the slot, and maybe just surprising Lee Jae-woong, but there's no surprise anymore. The Americans just keep coming at you in waves, as here they are to the backside. It is 5 against 5, and it looks like it's a power play. It's just the Americans so quick and, of course, so purposeful with the puck on their stick. This is the goal scorer, Roybal, and he just throws on the brakes there and lays it off now for Farmer. These two players simply on their own just do it all and can do it all, and they have been, as their stats display, and of course their World Championship and Paralympic golds will attest, as they are rolling out of this corner here. And will they find a way again just to unlock this Korean defense?
Well, the United States, a perfect 13-0 all-time in international play against the Koreans. There's a shot just wide of the net and a rebound opportunity. The Americans 3-0 against the Koreans in World Championship play all-time. So if the Republic of Korea can find a way to get a win here, Farmer scores, and that'll make it a little tougher for the Koreans. Guess who? It's Roybal and Farmer opening the scoring for the Americans.
It's a heavy shot from a deceptive place, as he just loads that up on his left-hand side there, and going across the grain, everybody starts to track with him. So does Lee Jae-woong, and he goes back against that flow, and that momentum takes him away from where the shot was intended. And right on the mark is Declan Farmer, and the two boy wonders, the teenagers still for the United States, have split the scoring already in this opening period.
No real surprise. Again, at the start of the program, I said, same old thing. We just keep talking about the same two guys for the Americans, it seems, all the time, but there's a reason for it. They scored all 6 of their goals in the last game, and they've got the first 2 in this game. It's Roybal and Farmer putting on a show, but here's another opportunity. The Americans looking for more.
Jae Wong does well just to see that safely into the corner. It didn't actually touch him, but equally he's got to close his angle down there. They've been scored on again. McDermott on the feed from behind the goal line, and it was Tyler Caron who gets it to him. McDermott, they just are so clinical, aren't they, the Americans? They score the goals that they're supposed to score, particularly in a point-blank range like that.
Great passing here as you see Caron behind the net, just spins off a check, centering pass on the stick, off the stick. It's Luke McDermott who buries it. It's his first goal of the tournament. He's got 3 points now. So McDermott on the board as well for the Americans, as there's only a couple players left in this roster that haven't scored a goal yet. That's Jack Wallace, although he's been a terrific energy player for this team, and Chris Douglas as well, who provides a lot of energy as well. Goal scoring is not really what they're counted on to do. So a goal there by McDermott, the New York native. He's in his second World Championship. He was a part of that gold medal winning team in 2015.
Well, this right now for Korea is just proving a different game complexion than anything they've experienced so far in this tournament. They've been able to either score the goal first, and then when they've been leveled, find a way back. Yes, they give up a couple late period goals to Canada, but right here, to have conceded 3 already, that power play, 5 against 3, really put a wrinkle in their game plan without a doubt.
Yeah, you go down 5-on-3 to the Americans early in a hockey game, you're asking for trouble, and it ended up costing this Republic of Korea team. But here we are at even strength. It's a 3-0 game. We'll see if they can find a way to maybe surprise the Americans, try to get the next one, try to at least get a quality opportunity on net. You know they'll be counting on the Rocket Man, number 14, who is just floating around the top of the zone right now and heading up the wing. They get the puck to him. He's a guy they're going to have to try to hit and stride so he can use his speed to his advantage.
He was closed down very quickly there as Page will just be strong on this puck, and Tyler Caron is just looking to see where he wants to go with it. But we haven't seen a lot of the Rocket Man. It's simply because when he does get a chance, the Americans, any one of the 5 players on the ice at the time can go to him, can go and try to close him down, and they're so puck confident and so defensively confident that they just don't slow up. And generally, what Jung Si-won is in need of is a little bit of space to get past the first player, and then, of course, then looking for puck support. And at the moment, the United States has just been a little too quick, as it's Josh Pauls who goes back now to get control of this one, and just throws the brakes on. It's into an area where at least the U.S. have some numbers, but good from the Koreans to have a little bit of a sustained forecheck here now. That's worked out well. Even that clearance there from the U.S. just finds the right angle just to get out, and at least for a moment, into the neutral zone. And now they've got more time in which to try to break this puck out.
Well, we're finally seeing the puck in the American zone for a little while, even though the Koreans aren't handling it. But here's an opportunity now as the shot goes wide, and see if they can bank one in there. A nice effort by Lee Ju-sung to try to bank one in off of the goaltender Cash.
They're so efficient with the puck that they do get in the offensive zone. We've seen them with just getting 7 shots, get a couple of goals, and so that's a great shooting percentage. But even here, as we say, at the end of this first period, when the majority of ice has been utilized in the Republic of Korea end zone, here they are just creating a little bit of traffic and some sustained pressure, and that's an important little bit of a confidence boost for Korea as Han Min-soo goes back to get this one, and they make a line change as it's Josh Pauls across to get it. And across this line here is Rico Roman. He's got an option to Wallace in the middle of the ice. Some good, strong movement from Jang Jung-ho. And this is better. The Rocket Man immediately has Yoey on him, and then he gets hit here by Wallace, and we haven't seen that for the Rocket Man in this tournament so far, where he's been getting so much immediate physical attention.
Yeah, he's fast, but there are a number of fast players on this American team as well, and Wallace is such a good checking forward for the United States. Does a good job immediately taking his man off the puck there, and the Americans will look for more here. 8 seconds left. Republic of Korea will be happy just to try to slow this down, get a whistle here with 3.2 seconds left on the clock. The face-off will come up in just a moment as we step aside. 3-0 America.
And back for the remaining portion of this first period. It's a clearance down the length of the ice, and Korea win that face-off. Don't allow any further pressure from the Americans, and they don't need any more than they were able to generate themselves. Goals from Roybal, Farmer, and McDermott in that opening 15 minutes of play, and the Americans, as advertised, came right out of the gates and took care of business.
Yeah, they looked really good. The Republic of Koreans getting in some penalty trouble early on. Always dangerous when you're playing such a high-octane team like the United States of America. They get on the board early, they get on the board often. 3-0 USA after one. We'll have highlights and much more coming up in just a moment.
철도 이제 기가의 시대로 달려간다. 지금까지 경험하지 못했던 포스코 초고강 부스트. 기가 스틸의 시대가 열린다. 기가 스틸은 철의 새 시대를 열어갑니다. 포스코.
Welcome back inside the Gangneung Hockey Center. We are in the first intermission where the United States have a 3-0 lead over Republic of Korea. They score one on the power play, 5 against 3, and then some just good systematic hockey coming from the Americans in that opening 15 minutes of play. Declan Farmer makes a great back against the grain play, and then McDermott getting that feed in behind the goal line. They came out and took care of business, and they certainly are a team, well, that look on the rise.
Yeah, the Americans have just continued to dominate every team that they played in this tournament in terms of a puck possession type game. That's a huge advantage that they have over a lot of these other countries, and it's something that they try to focus on every game. When you get into penalty trouble against the United States of America, as the Republic of Korea did here early, it's going to be an uphill battle for you. We'll take a look at some highlights from the first period, and we talked about it at the top of the program. Brody Roybal, Declan Farmer, these are the guys that score a ton of goals for this American side. And with a 5-on-3 advantage, you give that much time to such a gifted goal scorer in Roybal, it's going to make you pay. Wide open in the slot there, it goes under the blocker and in, and the United States jumped out to an early lead.
Well, they don't try to be cute, do they? They take their chances. He's got a good look at goal. There's no sense trying to go to another option. He's got a grade A chance there. And although maybe he doesn't get the shot to go elevated up in the top corner, what he does do, he has enough pace on it, enough power on it, and enough placement that it maybe handcuffs the goaltender, Lee Jae-woong. And then this is just a great play by Farmer. Drags the defense. Everybody in the zone is following Declan Farmer across east-west, and he comes back against the grain and finds an opening through the Korean keeper.
And once again, you see the good stick movement here underneath the sled, right to left. Gets the goaltender going against the grain here, against his own momentum. It kind of surprised him, it looked like, a little bit. That's a goal scorer's goal. And then Tyler Caron behind the net. Tape-to-tape pass right in front to Luke McDermott, who was left unchecked. That's a great play here to spin off a check, take a look in front, find McDermott. We talked it earlier in the period. There was a play where we thought McDermott did a little bit of a flyby when he could have gone hard to the far post. Maybe had an opportunity. Does a great job here of stopping up in front of the net and burying that puck.
And now we look at the match stats. As you see them there, 7 shots for the U.S., 1 for Korea. Of course, the 3 goals. Face-offs also dominated by the U.S. Didn't have a whole lot of face-offs, in fairness, in that opening period. We had, as we said, about a 6-7 minute spell there where it was just allowed to be open play. But with the predominant power play opportunities for the Americans, the only time it seemed to be that it was a stoppage in play is when, of course, they scored. And we didn't see a lot of icings in that period as well. It had pretty good flow, as you might expect from 2 of the top teams in this tournament.
Yeah, it was great pace, the up and down action in this period. And we saw towards the end of the period, the Republic of Korea finally got some zone time. They had an opportunity or 2 at the net. We'll see if they can maybe take a little bit of that momentum and build on that here into the second period. As we talk about the best option likely for them to try to find some offense is try to hit number 14 in stride. We've talked about it before, the speed on this team, especially by number 14. So he's the rocket man for a reason, and he's got great speed out there. We'll see if the Koreans can find a way to utilize it in the second period.
They're going to have to support him. They're going to have to get up beside him because he just probably can't do it on his own against a very potent and impressive American lineup. We, for the moment, will pause and we'll join you for more coverage here in the first intermission of our action between Republic of Korea, the host nation, and United States of America, who lead 3-0. Welcome back inside the Gangneung Hockey Center, and you've been seeing all sorts of great shots. You've been hearing the energy in the building. You've seen some of the colors and, of course, the flags and a lot of the props and things that World Para Ice Hockey are giving out at these events. It really is wonderful to see. Of course, they're getting excited about this event, and, of course, as we get ourselves prepared for the Paralympic Games in a year's time. But we've got some of the stuff that you're seeing live available right here as you look at the fans. Of course, they have Republic of Korea flags, and they also have some of the nifty headgear that you might be seeing as well, and some of it may be a little bit curious from a distance, but maybe we'll have a look at it up here on screen in our studio, and you can have a little bit of an understanding further of just what you might be getting here live at an event here in the Republic of Korea.
Yeah, the World Para Ice Hockey has done such a great job of outfitting all the fans here with flags and with props so they can cheer on their respective teams. You got the American flag here, which they've been giving out to a lot of the fans. Of course, the Republic of Korea as well, so you see them waving these around. And if you really want to get fancy with it, they're handing out some nice headgear. I think this would look really good on you, Brent, personally.
I need a hat, of course. I need a hat.
This guy lights up a little bit, too, so it gets pretty fancy.
Well, we'll give you, this actually says, I love Gangneung, and so that's what that's all about. And if you want to see just how pretty that bow is,
yeah.
Then there you do.
Looks good, and if you're an American supporter as well, you got the big hats here, so you could throw one of these guys on and It's been a great job by everybody here involved to make sure that the fans are getting into these games, and we've seen the crowds get bigger and bigger and bigger as this tournament's gone on. We've got the medal games tomorrow as well, so we're expecting big crowds, a lot of media here as well. But a great job by all of the organizers to make the fans feel involved and a part of these games, and we all know that the teams on the ice love seeing their flags and their merchandise up in the crowd as well.
Well, with the school children earlier on in the first match, and we've seen it throughout the entirety of this tournament, when they're here and they get a chance, these Korean school children who were cheering for Canada, cheering for Germany, what a great way to learn about geography than to come to a para ice hockey event in your hometown, in your home city, and to be able to enjoy and, of course, celebrate other nations in the world that are playing what is a fabulous sport. So it is a great job by para ice hockey putting on the show and making sure everybody feels involved and understands what's happening here.
You gonna put that on, or
I think it's just over the headset,
I guess. Yeah, but
it'll take off some of the
maybe,
shine on my
maybe you
forehead.
can wear it home though.
Possibly.
It looks good. Anyways, a great job by everybody here. The fans are certainly involved and invested in this game as the Americans with a 3-0 lead right now over the Republic of Korea, as we take a look at more of the fans here in attendance having a lot of fun at this World Championship. We'll be back in just a moment.
새로운 칭찬이라든가 하나 된 열정.
And Republic of Korea, the first team out onto the ice. They are ready to resume play. As there you see confirmation of the score. A great output from the Americans. They score on the power play at 2:19. It's Brody Roybal. That was 5 against 3. And you really can ill afford to give the Americans a 2-player advantage. And then even strength. It's at 10:50. Declan Farmer scores. And then followed up by Luke McDermott at 11:12. And that tallies up to the 3 goals we see on the scoreboard. And yes, it would be great, of course, to see Republic of Korea get themselves a goal and ignite this crowd. It really is going to be tough, though, to try to break free of the grasp they really had on Chung Si-won. They wouldn't let him free at all in that opening 15.
Yeah, really good point by you there that they were all over him. And every time he got the puck, Chung Si-won had somebody right on him. That's what you have to do to try to neutralize a special player like the Rocket Man. We heard Guy Gosselin talk about it at the start of the broadcast. He said, we know he's a special player, we know he's a very talented player, and we just got to keep right on him, not give him that time to accelerate through the neutral zone into the attacking zone. And you talk about the fans here, how much they would enjoy seeing a goal from the host nation. Even when they were able to get the puck into the American offensive zone at the end of the period, we heard the fans getting a little bit loud. So they were excited just that the puck wasn't in their own team's end. If the Republic of Korea can find a way to get a shot on goal, a good quality chance, or even put one in the back of the net, we're going to hear a lot of noise in this Gangneung Hockey Center.
Cash has only been beaten twice now. Tyler McGregor from Canada, and then Sandro Calogeras, the Italians, were able to beat him once. So there's 2 goals total on him in the tournament. So it's a pretty rare time that Steve Cash is breached for a goal. And it would be seen as a little bit of a small victory for Republic of Korea just to get 1 goal in its own right, as it's played in the zone, and it's a good, strong hit here. The big man, their blue liner, their number 12, and you watch him, Kim Young-sung, just makes that first play, but this is just too much room right now for the United States just to roll around the top, and that's McKee down to Farmer, and then Landeros just now looking, he's going to out the Farmer, there's a shot, it goes off the post, and I thought for a moment maybe that was just gonna find an angle inside, and maybe that doesn't go the full distance and length of the ice, but it does. Sometimes we have seen a little bit of water still on the surface of the ice inside the opening minute, and Korea can't catch a break with that in this opening minute, that this goes off the post, and again, Farmer in and around the idea of scoring another World Championship leading goal for USA.
Lee Jae-won there doing a good job to get just enough of that puck. It ends up going off the goal post, keeping it out. He had to make a really nice save at the start of the first period. Has to make another one here at the start of the second. And we will expect once again the Americans to control much of the play in this period, but fast break opportunities is where the Koreans may find some success.
Great defensive play, but they've been forced to just have to clear it with a little too much strength and vehemence that it goes all the way down the length of the ice for another icing. But they picked that off. But you see the puck handling ability from the United States, and I particularly watched in the warm-up today, and of course we understand how skillful the Americans are, but just as a team across the board, the general standard, and there's that golden rule, isn't there, or that rule of thumb that you say you're only as good as your weakest link. Their weakest link on the United States is of such a high standard that every single player almost pushes the other to be better today than they were yesterday.
Yeah, well said by you, and a golden rule. Everything's golden when you talk about the American team. They've been winning everything. The last 6 international events in pair ice hockey have been won by the United States, but a couple countries here that would like to give them a good run for their money. The Republic of Korea right now, and then of course Canada in the gold medal game tomorrow. Capable nations is a nice save here with the glove by Lee Jae-won, the 21-year-old. It's his first world championship, and he's looked pretty good so far in this tournament. Came in with great numbers. He's made some nice saves in this game.
Well, just looking at the mere geography of these two teams, they don't always meet. Of course, there's regional tournaments throughout the course of everybody's preparation for a World Championship event like this. So to be able to play the Americans as Republic of Korea, this is a golden opportunity. And for Lee Jae-won in his first World Championships as a 21-year-old to have a chance to face these shooters, it's a benchmark that you just can't talk about. You have to experience to understand. And this is as much a great learning experience for Republic of Korea as they prepare to host the Paralympic Games, and as well to prepare for trying to win a medal at this tournament too.
It's been such a great showing for them here at the World Championships. Winning a few games right off the hop and giving the Canadians a good battle in a 2-0 game that Canada ended up winning, but very close. And now here against the powerful Americans, the game's still within striking distance if the Koreans can find a way to get the next one. But it's just been a great tournament for them, and we've seen as this tournament's gone on and the prospects of them playing for a medal got a little more real. We've seen more media show up. We've seen great numbers in the fans as well. People really starting to take notice here in Gangneung and in the Republic of Korea in general about this team.
Strong play from the Americans, now trying to just put something together. They've been on the perimeter and they've been able to control in the most this opening possession in the second period. Really, other than that one shot, of course, as close as you are going to see as it went off the post, Declan Farmer, but my father always said, close really only counts in slow dancing, son. And this is another opportunity for the Americans, who are going to try to increase this scoreline, as it was just been turned over a little bit cheaply, and that's been well taken, but they can't throw it away. That's a much better angled clearance this time from the Korean defense, and they don't, in fact, send that one for icing, but again, they are on their heels as the Americans keep coming at them shift after shift, and they've had a full line change, have USA. As out there is the big body of Chris Douglas, and he really is like a a destroyer out there. A big, wide frame and long legs. Well, probably about 6'3" and old money. As that one sent the length of the ice. Finally, Korea need a break. And they've had that now 3-4 times in the opening, less than 4 minutes of play.
Another face-off here in the Korean zone. Luke McDermott, he's already scored a goal in this game. The 29-year-old New York native taking the draw for them.
So that will be onto the stick of Tyler Caron. And now there is the Rocket Man. A little bit of space, but he's got 2 players immediately on him, but he's got a little bit of room, and he is starting to light the spark inside the Gangneung Hockey Center, and we equally get excited for him. And you can't help but nod. It's not simply a case of being a front runner with him. You just want to see, it's a little bit of that same old story of the little engine that could. Here is a Pool B nation that qualifies, wins that championship by right 2 years ago, and then here at home, probably, as we have said, performing above maybe their own expectation, and then they continue to be ambitious and optimistic about their fortunes and what they can do here. And of course, in a year's time, you do want to see that success story continue to evolve for Republic of Korea.
Yeah, it's been a great story. 10:31 here to go in the second period, and they managed to keep the Americans off the board here to start. We'll see what they can do when we come back.
Considering the competition on the ice today, I am equally wondering as well, Mike, who is having more fun, the fans in the cheering or the cheerleaders leading them? I think it's equally as good a competition as we are ready for a face-off. And they're in their own defensive zone again, Korea, as Farmer in for this one. And, well, he's enjoying another great day of action, but they are going to remove the number 21, Lee Jung-sung. And again, USA take this opening draw. And Tyler Caron as Roy, but what a great offload down to Farmer. It's such a perfectly placed area pass, and it's the timing of its arrival that is just so clever. The angles that these two players understand about each other, but this is going to be a penalty against Korea, immediately called. Roybal looked to be slowed up there for a second, but he's back in action as the big bodies come in from Korea, just trying to put a little bit of a slow up on the speed that they have seen from the Americans in this hockey game. But the Americans have now won themselves a man advantage opportunity. As we'll watch this penalty coming up against Roybal, but this is Farmer and Roybal just doing their thing.
Yeah, such great puck movement here by the Americans. You take a look at the penalty there, and going to the penalty box is Chang Dong-shin. 41-year-old gets the teeing minor with 10:02 to go, and one of the game plans for the Republic of Korea and for any team facing this American team that is so capable is you got to stay out of the penalty box. You have to keep this at 5-on-5, but it's so difficult to do because of the speed with which the Americans play. Oftentimes you're chasing them around the ice, you end up grabbing onto them, you end up hooking them, you end up taking teeing penalties, so it's a lot harder practice than it is preached, and it's another power play opportunity here for the USA as they try to get situated in the offensive zone.
It's that old adage again, it's so much easier to plan your play than, of course, play your plan. And right now, Korea are wanting to get this puck and clear it out with one effort, but that's easier said than done. But there he is. Jung Chi-won is able to make that play, and as much as we talk about his electrifying speed going forward offensively, we also have, as the tournament's gone on, acknowledged him for what a great two-way hockey player is, what an ambassador he is for parasport in general in the Republic of Korea. And not only in this sport, in the other sports he has participated in as well. But here's Farmer, a shot, it goes up and over and into the corner. And can they get to us? Remember, of course, they're shorthanded, and they've now done that over 1:15 and been able to be successful. And this is a good kill. This would be a confidence booster for Korea if they could keep the American lineup minimized with the player advantage.
You don't see Declan Farmer miss too many of these opportunities. He gets a pretty wide open look here in the middle of the slot, and he lets it absolutely fly, but he sails it just over the net. So a really good opportunity there for Declan Farmer. And the fans, you know, it doesn't matter who you cheer for when you watch a player like Declan Farmer play para ice hockey. It's entertaining, and he's a flashy type player in the skill that he plays with. Nice face-off win there by the Republic of Korea as they managed to get the puck down the ice.
And back to get it is Josh Pauls, who is as safe as money in the bank when the puck is on his stick. Roybal is one of the rare players in this sport where he can actually go backwards equally as much and fade away from opportunities. This was a chance to try to get it to Landeros, but he can fade away and equally just provide almost a little bit of a sauce pass, as he like a fadeaway jumper many ways. And not a lot of players go in reverse or, of course, backward skate, as it's more challenging. As here's Declan Farmer, the give and the go and the get back almost coming off, as finally Korea will in fact clear it, and that is a big penalty kill as we creep towards that halfway point of the hockey game.
Well, that's an opportunity there where the United States just got a little bit too cute on the power play. Declan Farmer scored so many goals, and he's always happy to try to set his teammates up and get them involved as well. But he had a wide open look there. He tried to dump it down low. But when you get an open look like that, especially if you're Declan Farmer, you've got to shoot that puck.
This is Farmer in a good position, and we have seen so much offloading, so much of that good area passing from the United States. They've been very sensible, maybe getting a little bit cute sometimes. You can sometimes fall in love with a puck on your stick, and we saw when they've been most effective, they just shoot it when the opportunity is there. But Roybal has this puck on a string right here, and it really is, I think, arguable as to whether or not they have better control of that puck with two sticks than they might with one. And I think they probably do, as they could play it back and forth to themselves and get that balance, maintain an upright, good, strong position. As it's turned over, it's going to be Shaws who tries to get it, and this again a little bit loose from Korea. Just can't quite get it out, and this time as it's followed up by their number 14, Jung Si-won. He was just glad to get it on his stick. It was already ready, and unfortunately it sprung down the length of the ice for an icing call.
That skill is so impressive from Roybal. We take a look at the fans. They were just doing the wave a second ago, so everybody's getting into it here. We got some cheerleaders getting the crowds fired up here in this game. And for a lot of the spectators here, they're getting to enjoy para ice hockey at this World Championship, perhaps for the first time. And you can definitely tell from the reactions that they're enjoying the pace at which this game is played. It's a real fun experience overall, and a great job here by the World Para Ice Hockey group putting this tournament on. They're getting treated to a good game so far as the Republic of Korea hanging in there against this American team. Bending but not breaking. It's 3-0, and as we talked about a little bit earlier, if they can find a way to generate an opportunity here and maybe try to find a way to score a goal, this game can take on a little bit of a different complexion.
It would indeed, and a goal, of course, would only be the third one that has been conceded by the United States in this tournament. This to the wide side, trying to get onto it now as Korea will skate. Big hit coming in as a huge collision, and down goes the big Korean, as that was a hit with almost reckless abandon. I think it was Andy Yohe came across like a freight train, and he caught him on the 9 track as he got him right in the bullseye.
Lee Jung-hyun there was on the opposite end of that hit from Andy Yohe. He took a hot shot, but he's all right. It's a physical game. They'll keep playing. We've got 5:48 to go here in the second period.
The great choreography continues with the fans inside the building, as led by their team cheerleaders as well. It's half the fun in these intermission breaks as we get ourselves prepared and returning to action just outside the blue line of Korea right now. As we say, a lot of interested new people coming in, a lot of businessmen, in fairness, now arriving in and having a curious look about what is going on inside the Gangneung Hockey Center. And as you can appreciate, many of the facilities already in pretty much full completion and readiness almost a year out. And that, of course, in a smaller town in Gangneung, about 200,000 people, it's generating more and more interest. And our proximity to where the actual facility is here, the Olympic Park and the Paralympic Park, really we're only a couple kilometers away, so it's all pretty cozy in and around Gangneung here on the east coast, the Republic of Korea, and they are getting excited about winter sport indeed as Rico Roman comes across, and he has to deal with Park Woo-chul, and Park Woo-chul is a big wide body, and he equally got almost a piece of Rico Roman, just to remind him that the Koreans will play that brand of para ice hockey if need be as well. Han Min-soo in behind his own goal, and he'll bank one off the boards, and that could have, maybe if there was a Korean skater on the other end of it, been able to link up, but it has been a little bit slow so far in the build-up for Korea in getting a chance against the Americans. This now, maybe a little bit one here, as their number 27, Cho Byun-suk, and that one will go for icing, and slow, I rather would say, just it's been deliberate because they just have not given much up, have they, the Americans? And as we talked about how quickly they've closed down on the excitement that normally Chung Si-won can generate, they've done that to all of the Koreans today, and they are well in control at 3-0.
Not a lot of opportunity for the Republic of Korea, and as mentioned, for them to try to generate offensively, it will likely have to come maybe on a flip play out of the zone, try to hit one of their better players, one of their quicker players in stride, in transition. They work the puck up here. We'll see if they can dump it in, which they do, and now they chase. And this is how the Koreans will have to try to execute offensively, but you see the Americans so quick to the puck. There's a turnover and a shot on goal. Good opportunity from Lee Chu-sung. And we will get a high sticking penalty here. The official making the call, 4 minutes to go here in the second period. What a great opportunity this is now as Luke McDermott goes off for the Koreans to go to a power play, try to find that first goal of the game.
It is a great opportunity. Equally, you and I both know that Brody Roybal, as we look back, and Declan Farmer will be licking their lips, and a chance here now, a little bit more real estate on the ice in which to try to put pressure on this Korean offense, even though they are, of course, in the defensive position, implied defensively because they're one player down, but these two have such skating ability that they are waiting to see if they can't open up here now with some more, or less, shall we say, responsibility. They can just go after it and pursue the puck.
Well, you make a very good point there. Even though the Americans are shorthanded, they've got Karen, Landeros, Roybal, and Farmer on the ice. And with that extra ice, as you watch Farmer now chase this puck down, they're so fast. Equally gifted, shorthanded are these players, as that extra ice just gives them more real estate out there. So the Korean team will have to be cognizant of that, but at the same time, it's a great opportunity now. Just under 90 seconds left in the power play to try to set something up offensively. Got a couple good looks on goal.
And Farmer almost strips down Chung Si-won, and he just shows no mercy there, does he? As he just gives him a shove from behind and says, listen, I know you're trying to get out of your own zone, but really what you're doing isn't getting in the way of my possibility of going on a breakaway here shorthanded. As here he is, Farmer, with the puck and under his control. Oh, a hit, and he catches him, Chung Si-won, and they're going to talk about this one here, as he caught a piece of him there, and Chung Si-won marked him because he gave him that extra little bit of a shove, and of course, athletes have a long memory.
Well, Chung Si-won, it's interesting because he's not a very big guy. He's very fast because of his small size, but he enjoys the physical part of the game. We'll see him initiate contact. He went right after the American star player there, Declan Farmer.
And that was noticeable, and a good thing to see, in fairness, that it means that, you know, this isn't just standing around with letting the Americans do what the Americans can do. You have to be able to compete, and that's little steps towards being able to move forward and take your nation forward. is believing, first of all, that you belong in that conversation. It's up to Roybal from Farmer. Roybal's all alone, short-handed here, up against, and there's a finish in style. And you talk about it, they threatened, and then they now have gone and executed their promise. And the Declan Farmer up to Brodie Roybal show again comes true, as on the penalty kill, they make Korea pay.
Watch Roybal corral this puck that lands on the ice right in front of him, and he's got his stick on it, and from there, with that kind of time and space, it's almost a gimme for Roybal against any goaltender in this tournament. It's a shorthanded goal with 8 seconds to go here on the Korean power play. It's Roybal's second goal of the game. That gives him 8 goals rather on the tournament. Second only to Declan Farmer on this team. Farmer has 12, so we mentioned how dangerous these players for the American side can be shorthanded because of their speed, and that was a great flip pass, and what a terrific job by Brodie Roybal to corral that puck, take it in on goal, and put it in the back of the net.
It's almost like American football, and that was a long post play where basically he went up, he had to smother it, and to get that and to control it, and of course maintain speed. Yes, he was well in behind the Korean defense, but you need to, of course, maintain your speed so you're not having to start from a standstill again. But there really isn't enough to say about how dominant those two are. And I guess depending on where anybody's watching from around the world, and different geography, of course, has different sports that are more prominent. But we watch Roybal again as he just comes in and just makes it look very easy, elevates up. You see the delay, you see the control, and you just see how, of course, well balanced he was in making sure that he could execute that shot and the elevation at the end.
He makes it look so easy, and so many of these American players make it look so easy, but you're right, to balance yourself on your sled like that, when you're stick handling in and out, they use the sticks as well for balance. They use it to propel themselves along the ice, to skate up and down the ice. But to stick handle at that speed and balance yourself and shoot the puck, it looks so easy for Roybal and so many of these players, but do not underestimate how difficult that is.
Paul Shaws has gone across to serve a penalty. I think it's going to be a roughing call against him. He had a little bit to say to a couple of the Koreans as he made his way over to the bench, and the penalty box rather, and Shaws always has a little bit of something, I think, in a burr in his saddle. He plays with that edge, and he wasn't overly happy that, of course, he had been assessed with a penalty initially, but then equally wanted to let the Korean players know that there was more where that came from if they wanted it.
Well, Paul Shaws says his favorite hockey players are Brad May and Adam Mayer. Two guys now retired from the National Hockey League, played a lot the Buffalo Sabres organization, and neither one of those guys was known for putting the puck in the back of the net. They were known for using their hands in different ways, for playing a really physical brand of hockey. They spent a lot of time in the penalty box as well, and Shaws plays that physical brand for the Americans. We've seen a couple of hits here by the Korean side, and if anybody's going to come and answer the bell, you know it's going to be Shaws.
It's out front. They were trying to get a shot off. Declan Farmer just actually mishandled his stick for a moment. I think it was the follow-through from the intended shot. And they're out here again, Lenderos and Roybal, Farmer circling, and Roybal. Maybe he'll go back to Farmer. What a play, back to Lenderos. And it's a diving save, and it's a great one made by Lee Jae-Wong. But the no-look passes and the service that we're seeing today from the Americans, they have got better as the tournament has gone deeper.
No question about it. They look so cohesive. Here's a stretch pass for Roybal, looking for him shorthanded again as well. This time he can't control it at the offensive blue line. But if you're on the power play rather against this American side, you better beware of Brodie Roybal, who just hangs out at that offensive blue line, waits for a clearing pass. Time ticks down here in the second period. It will end 4-0 the United States out in front. The Republic of Korea will have 40 seconds of power play time when we come back for period number 3.
Great action in that second period as well, as the Americans just get the one tally, but what a beauty it was. A short-handed goal from Brodie Roybal from Declan Farmer, and those two continue to provide the firepower for the USA. We will join you for more coverage in the second intermission coming up.
기가스티의 시대가 열립니다. 기가스티는 철의 새 시대를 열어갑니다. 포스코.
And welcome back inside the Gangneung Hockey Center. And we are, of course, in the second intermission. And it's the United States with that 4-0 lead. They were able to command 3 goals in the opening period, just the 1 in that second period. But what a beauty it was, Mike, as we have a chance now to look back across the highlights in that second period. And my goodness, these 2 players, short-handed, can make things happen. We'll look at some of those opening chances, though, from the U.S.
Yeah, once again, the Americans come out with some good opportunities early. A nice save here. It's off the post as well, but a good job there to get his body in front of that puck by the goaltender Lee Jae-wong, who was solid again for the Republic of Korea. Not an easy test here, facing a very potent American team. Jack Wallace with a good shot on goal as that one sails just wide. And then, as you made a great point, Brent, talking about how even when another team gets a power play opportunity, you look at the flip pass here, short-handed by the Americans, right on the stick of Brody Roybal, keeps himself onside. I'll let you call this one. It was a beauty.
Oh, it was. I mean, he just has such balance. It's like he was surfing a wave there, and he just wanted to catch the right current at the right time and just the right amount of force as he just knifes it inside that right post. And you know, that's a set play, that lobbing effort. It's one thing, of course, to elevate the puck, to get that clearance to your teammate, but to get the right weight on it too. And then, of course, to be able to pick it up on a short hop and then continue, carry on your momentum. You got to remember there's 5 players for Korea to be able to track back. It's not as if Brody Roybal is a secret that he's in behind you either. So he's been able to get that space and time. He's been able to recover it, take it in stride, and there just simply is no 2 better players in the world to be able to pick the puck up in all manner of positions and body positions to be able to retrieve it, and their finishing is second to none.
We'll take a look here at the statistics through 30 minutes of play, 2 periods. The Americans 10 shots on goal, just 1 for the Republic of Korea. But we've seen the Americans put up huge shot totals against some other teams in this tournament. Even on average, in the game against Canada, the Americans, they had a decent amount of shots as well. And to have just 10 shots against here for the Republic of Korea, 5 shots a period on average, it's a good defensive effort. They're a very good defensive team. We talked about how they've only allowed 7 goals in 5 games coming into this one in this tournament. We knew it would be a stiffer test for them here against the United States, and they'd likely be giving up a few more goals. But 4-0 is certainly a respectable score. They've had a couple of opportunities. They still have 40 seconds of power play time here going into the 3rd period, but they need to make sure that they watch Roybal, who hangs out at that offensive blue line, because the Americans love that chip play to try to get him breakaways. We saw it work for them on the goal of in the second period, the only goal in the second period. We saw another attempt there at the end of the period as well, and it didn't work out that time as Roybal couldn't control it. But the Koreans will have to be cognizant of where those Americans are killing penalties, because they love to be aggressive.
And there, for a moment, we will pause. We will give you more coverage here in the second intermission from the Gangneung Hockey Center. These, of course, are the Gangneung 2017 World Para Ice Hockey Championships, and USA are in the driver's seat, 4-0 up over the host Republic of Korea. Welcome back inside the Gangneung Hockey Center, and all sorts of enthusiasm both here in the booth and of course there in the stands as we have felt the energy throughout the course of this entire tournament. We're almost coming to a completion here, Mike. It's been so much fun. Game day 7, we have one more to go today, but it's all going to be over soon.
I know, it's hard to believe. It feels like we're just starting to ramp things up here in this tournament. We want more games, but we've got some phenomenal games coming up as we get set for our final day of competition, day number 8. It will be the medal games. We know Canada will be facing the United States for gold. We know the Republic of Korea will be playing for bronze. We don't know who they will be playing, whether it's the Italians or the Norwegians. They play in the final game of preliminary action later today, so what a great way to finish this tournament, our 21st and final game in the preliminary round, and it's got major consequences. You take a look at the table here. This is assuming that the United States wins this game. They have a 4-0 lead after 2 periods. They will finish in first, 3 points up on Canada, who lost the head-to-head game against the Americans. The Republic of Korea right now in 3rd place. But they could get bumped from there depending on what happens in that last game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Italy, if they get a full complement of points over Norway, which they could very well do, would go into that 3rd position. And what a coup for them. Got to remember, Italy beat Republic of Korea in a shootout yesterday. And Republic of Korea were up 2-0 after 2 periods of play. And then they had that happen to them. And that was, of course, a little bit to the disappointment of the home crowd. But so well earned by Italy, because it didn't look as though that was on the cards. And they found a way to get that result. So that is to Italy's advantage. If they can, in fact, take the full points from Norway, they will get that 3rd position. It's really 6s and 7s. It doesn't really matter because ultimately it's a one-off game between Republic of Korea and whoever maybe is victorious. If Norway is able to get a result, then they go into that bronze medal game. So, of course, Republic of Korea know they're going to be in it. Whether or not they're 3rd or 4th, they know they're going to be in that matchup. And if that final match today is anything to go by of what we have seen in these tight games where the teams have had something to play for, it's going to be a fantastic finish here to game day 7.
Absolutely, and the Norwegians, as you saw in the standings there, they're 3 points back of Italy, so the way for them to be able to get into a 4th spot and compete for a bronze medal, they need to pick up a full 3 points. It would tie them in points with the Italians, but because they win that game, they have that first tiebreaker, which is head-to-head matchups. So that's how Norway can get into a bronze medal game. Otherwise, they will stay in that 5th spot. And Sweden, let's talk about Sweden. They have, again, a developing country in this sport. They came here just hoping to play some good teams, get some great experience for their players, and they get a huge victory yesterday against Germany, and now they're in 6th place, and they're going to be playing for an opportunity to gain automatic qualification to the 2018 Paralympic Games. So a great tournament finish for Sweden here. They have a day off today ahead of the big games tomorrow. So it's been a lot of fun up and down the standings to see this whole tournament play out, and a lot of meaningful games here on our last day of preliminary action.
That's the way it sets up. You know, that last game, Sweden and Germany yesterday, 6th and 7th, you almost felt as though they're out of the bracket. No, if you finish in 6th, then that was what was totally on the line. But what a performance by Sweden at the right time, just to get their nose in front and to get that victory, which gives them the opportunity to compete for that 5th position in a one-off game in a yet-to-be-determined opponent. And that will, of course, as we go through the remaining action in game day 7, we will determine who that's going to be. So for now, we will pause as we get ready. The teams will be returning to the ice, and the action will continue in the 3rd period. United States and Korea still in the middle of a tough one. USA, though, in a good position, 4-0 up. Inside the Gangneung Hockey Center, and as you can see, the energy still in abundance as these cheerleaders, and of course the fans as the official cheerleaders, as we see fans coming in waves, really, different pockets and groups and all sorts of manner of getting a taste of the action here as we are awaiting the start of the third period. Seems to be a little bit of discussion going on there with Ovi Luthke. He is the Norwegian official having a conversation with the Korean coach. There seems to be smiles there, so things are in good stead for that. Both teams officially equally ready as well. There is a penalty to Paul Shaw as he's still in the box for 40 more seconds. That is not, however, always necessarily an advantage for a team playing against the United States.
No, the Americans a lot of speed. We'll see what happens here as we get set for the third period. And I want to take an opportunity as well to thank everybody who's watching this competition all across the world. If you're streaming it, however you're enjoying these games, we thank you for watching. We got a nice note from our friend Corey Clark, who's watching in Newfoundland, Canada. Says he's enjoying the games, enjoying the play-by-play. And he's also a friend of Liam Hickey of the Canadian team, who's also from Newfoundland. So a lot of interest here in this tournament, and it's been a ton of fun to watch these great athletes compete over the last week and a half or so. We've got a big day coming up tomorrow as we have the medal games, but before we get there, we have a good finish to this game. We'll see if the Republic of Korea can find a way to strike here on the power play with 10 seconds left.
And a few remaining seconds. Maybe they do get a shot off, and then a great clearance, though, from the Americans. But just to finish on that note there, it really is fun to be a part of this tournament, and equally as we get to the business end, because you just feel everybody crescendoing to a point where, you know, we're going to get a final result for all of the good work that's been going on to lead up to this World Championships, and everybody's going to get their final return. And equally, I think we're probably going to still see the best para ice hockey to come. Oh, in front here, as the Koreans with a little bit of a bank shot. Could have been a little bit of billiards there. Potentially just get it off the back of one player and bank it in the far left post in behind Cash. This now looking good for Landeros into the body of Lee Jae-woong, and there now it's an almighty tussle in front, and that is a bun fight that could end up with, well, you got to be careful with your fingers there. Somebody's going to get a whack on them, and we've already seen a broken finger for the Italian player off the bar. Here they come, and they score. It's Wallace who will get the final touch of it for the United States, and that felt like it was coming. It was getting heavy in front of the Korean goal.
So much great pressure there from the Americans. A big scramble. It's actually the Korean side. Park Woo-chul with an opportunity to clear. Landeros hits the post, but Wallace is there to follow it up and put it into the back of the net. Right place at the right time for Jack Wallace, the New Jersey native. He's been playing this sport since 2009. Wallace has his first of the tournament. McDermott with his first of the tournament earlier in this game. Now it's just Tyler Karen and Chris Douglas that have not found the back of the net so far for the American side, but it shows you the balance of this team and how gifted they are offensively. There's a couple of their goal scorers here with 5 on the board getting their first tallies of this tournament.
And Wallace, who has one of those better hockey names, Jack Wallace, as he almost gets another one there. He gets a shot in and follows it right up with the potential for a back-to-back Jack Wallace play. As this is in the corner now battling for it. Kim Young-sung in and around, and who would you guessed it? Nico Landeros is there just to control things at the pass. And again, there is the aforementioned. And he just kind of rips one off the end boards, and the anticipation from the Americans. There is not a team that is as quick to those loose pucks in the offensive zone as they are. And we talk about the elevation of play. Oh, that's a slippery move here from Rico Roman as he does the Texas toe dance right past the Korean defender there. And he just finds a way just to slipstream him just as quick as he came at him. And he almost pulls a rabbit out of the hat there with a goal as well to boot.
So not only does Jack Wallace get his first tournament goal here at the World Championship, it's his first goal as a member of Team USA. So a great moment for him. A 5th goal in this game for the Americans. They look to finish the tournament perfect much like they did in 2015 at the last World Championship in front of their home crowd in Buffalo, New York. Look to finish the preliminary round at least perfect, and then nothing is a gimme, of course, against Canada in the gold medal game tomorrow. It was a 2-1 final in preliminary action, a really tightly contested game, and talking to Guy Gosselin before the game, talking to other people here in and around the event, they all feel that there's another gear here between Canada and the United States that we didn't see in that preliminary game, which I can't even imagine because it was so physical and so entertaining. But this is just setting up to be a terrific day of medal games tomorrow. And for the Koreans right now, they'll look to just continue to try to keep the Americans off the board. As they head into a bronze medal game, they don't know who their opponent will be yet, but this could be a good thing for them, playing the top team in the world here the day before that bronze medal game. It'll really force them to play at their highest level right now in this game, and then going into a bronze medal game against a slightly weaker opponent, whoever it might be, than the Americans, may be a bit of an advantage for their Koreans in that sense.
Nothing teaches like experience, and of course, as we say, geographically, these teams don't necessarily get to play each other a lot. Here he comes, Jung Si-won. He's gonna go straight in here. Yoi's waiting for him. Cash is as well, and Cash will just, of course, secure that one down for a face-off. I think Jung Si-won, because he hasn't had a whole lot of puck possession time, got that off a little earlier than maybe he might have liked, but he certainly got enough of it. You felt the anticipation rise in the building as he got a little bit of daylight here.
Well, you don't see many players on any team pull away from American players in this tournament, and that was a great burst of speed by the Rocket Man, Jung Si-won. The best opportunity so far from the Republic of Korea. We'll see if they have more as we take a quick break.
Back inside the Gangneung Hockey Center, and these the Gangneung 2017 World Para Ice Hockey Championships, and this is the final day of preliminary action. Still one more match yet to come, but this one, Republic of Korea, and a shot off the draw as Cash gets the big bear paw up to take that one down. And these two sides, of course, just meeting for the first time in the preliminary round. They have already determined their destiny as to which match they'll be competing in tomorrow, as there's a big hit from Jung Si-won. Be careful he doesn't get the same in return the other way. It's just holding up there was Paul Shaws, and Shaws maybe was thinking he had himself a little bit of prime opportunity there to give Jung Si-won a good go.
Never shy to play the physical game, and that's how you try to slow down the speedy Jung Si-won, 31-year-old. He was named best forward at the 2015 World Championships in the B pool. 20-plus points in that tournament. No doubt the most effective offensive player for this team. He had a good look just a few moments ago for the Korean side as he came in flying over the blue line. Steve Cash saw it all the way, was able to make the glove save, but his speed, I mean, it's tough for his teammates to keep up to him to try to create odd man rushes, so that's where you think that if the Koreans are going to have an opportunity offensively, it will be a fast break opportunity. It will likely be number 14, Jung Si-won.
And that is a challenge, isn't it? You can have individual great speed in a team sport like this, but generally you are reliant upon other players around you in which to enhance that and complement that. As here he comes with the puck now, but he's got three Americans on him. They're on him like a pair of tight acid wash jeans in the middle 80s, as this will be moved across. Rico Roman, and they have him smothered here. Josh Paul's right across this offensive blue line, and he gets his pocket picked for a moment, but here he is, Jack Wallace. He's gonna let one rip. and he goes off the blocker. And Wallace, as you say, plays a big heavy game like a Jack Eichel. And he comes in and he's got the young gun loaded up there, as he's got a little bit of a rocket launcher of a shot, does Wallace.
I like that analogy with the acid wash jeans. That was maybe taking it back to your time in the 80s, eh, Brent?
It's true. That's back when I had full hockey flow as well.
Long time ago.
And it is Wallace who will make that play down, trying to just bunt it out here on for a Chung Si-Wan break. And that one will go for icing. They'll have a break, but it'll be the same 5 players on the ice now having to compete for this draw in front of their goaltender, Lee Jae-Wong.
We'll take another look here at the opportunity from Wallace, a prime scoring area. He rips one, and a great blocker save by Lee Jae-Wong, who again has made a number of terrific saves in this game. 8:36 to go in the third period. It's only 5-0. Absolutely a respectable effort here by the Korean side, playing the ever-dominant United States of America. We mentioned it at the start of the broadcast, 11 consecutive gold medal game appearances for the Americans in international play at World Championships, Paralympics, etc. They've won 9 of those games. They've won 6 straight international tournaments. They are the bar in World Para Ice Hockey, although the Canadians gave them a good run in the preliminary round. So we'll see if there may be a changing of the guard, but you look at the way that the Americans are playing in this game, a game for them that technically doesn't have any implications, but they've looked just as good in this game as we've seen them all tournament.
An interesting comment, as you say, your discussion with Guy Goslin ahead of the game, because as I look back in retrospect to 2 years ago when these two played each other for the World Championship in the gold medal match, there was more speed, there was more possibility and real transition of just of tension, and equally, and I think you're right, I think where he is right, there is another level in that Canadian-American rivalry. And as you continue to play that, you understand what's involved with it. As Gangneung is now given the duties, and this is just as important experience for Gangneung to play against the best team in the world in the United States. As we say, they don't have a lot of experience at this A pool level to Republic of Korea, and every player needs the benefit of having that in real feel as to what it's like to be up against the player, the way they shoot, the way they think the game, and of course the way they move on the ice. Good shot. It's blocked down and broken up here well by the Koreans and lobbed out. And maybe they've just been clever enough to get that on goal, but it's a little too heavy. But it really is. I see the way the Americans have been able to push their game to another level against an opponent like Republic of Korea. And it's almost as if, it's not as if they sit in the weeds by any means. They are a known commodity right from the off, but they seem to be able to find a little bit more when it counts in the big teams, in the big games.
We see Gangneung now in the goal for the Republic of Korea, the 43-year-old. He's began playing the sport 11 years ago. He switched to goalie 7 years ago, and we see with a lot of these teams, goaltenders can be in their 40s, even with the Swedish team in their 50s. So as the players get a little bit older, it's an opportunity for them to keep playing the game. And Gangneung has been doing it at a high level in goal in this tournament. He's played more than anybody else in goal for the Korean side, so he'll get an opportunity here against very high-powered American side.
A para ice hockey goaltender is like a fine bottle of wine. As they get a little bit better with more age and experience, they still have that quick hand, and it's generally, as we would say in ice hockey, you would say, well, the legs go, but the brain and the hands are still there. And of course, you know, the quick hand, the glove hand is always the big issue, and you see generally that's the predominant feature of the goaltenders. And if they can think the game, a little bit more experienced, as now advancing across the line. And there's a shot from the outside.
A big hit in the neutral zone by Rico Roman as a scramble at the side of the net. Everybody whacking away, and now things getting a little bit nasty down there. A couple extra whacks at Steve Cash. The Americans don't like that, but a big hit in the neutral zone is more pushing and shoving. Wallace getting into it now with Kim Young-sung. Temper starting to flare a little bit. We'll take a look at the opportunity. Rico Roman, a big hit though on Chung Si-Wan in the neutral zone, who took a hit to make a play. And here are the couple of extra digs by Gangneung Shin, and Landeros did not like it. Tempers flaring a little bit here. Still 6 minutes to go in this game. Into the penalty box. The American player there, and we'll wait to get this all sorted out and see if it is offsetting minors, which it looks to be. So into the penalty box is Changdong Shin for the Korean side.
It's Landeros for the Americans, and it's interesting to see. Of course, the score is in firm control right now by the Americans, but they really show no mercy in and around Steve Cash, the way they defend him. This is a team from the goaltender on out, and they know that really when push comes to shove, Steve Cash has got their back, and they really respond very sensitive to anything that goes on in and around their goaltender.
There hasn't been much action around Cash so far in this game. Here's an opportunity for a sniper, and it's a shot just wide of the net from Chung Si-won. That's the guy you want with the puck. It was a set play off the face-off for the Koreans, and a really good opportunity, but it's sent just wide.
And this might suit Chung Si-won better, 4-on-4, where maybe there won't be that extra player on the ice, of course, to close down his space from the opposition and equally from his own team. It just gives him a little bit more movement out there, and he might find that either he can draw a defender with him and he can create an opening here on this shift for maybe one of his own teammates.
As you see the shot there, Cash's initial reaction is to get the glove up, protect the top of the net. The shot goes low. If it's on goal, might be a chance in another set draw here, trying to get it back to Chung Si-won, but it goes right through everybody and out.
And not a bad idea there from Kim Young-sung, just to try to play that with the backhand all the way down in the corner and hoping maybe it was going to be read by his teammate, but difficult with so much room here. This is an adjustment. Look at the speed. That's a Roybal and Chung Si-won race. Roybal ends up forcing him and just kind of hassles him into an angle to make a little bit of a miscue there. They're coming in and they knock Roybal off the puck, and here is Chung Si-won. He's going to go if they give him a little bit of room. Now Farmer comes across to catch a piece of him. Farmer does get a little bit of a piece of him, and now they will come forward. They're going to wave off any potential icing on the play, and Yohee is immediately attracted the forechecking pressure of Jang Jong-ho.
A couple big hits on this shift by number 10, Cho Young-jae, by the Korean side, who's been very physical in this game for them. And here's an opportunity for a steal from Chung Si-won, but he couldn't get the puck, and away comes Roybal.
Roybal with the offload right back to Pauls. Pauls down Broadway, and he gets snuffed out there as the lights get turned out on him. And he doesn't get a chance to finish that play in on Yu Min-young in goal, but Farmer just holds on to it, and he still is going as Farmer, and oh, he's going to sow a seed right here, right at Yo Min-young, and he makes a great save there.
As a nice glove save, some good pressure here by the Americans. 4 minutes and 24 seconds to go in the third period. We'll take a quick timeout. It is 5-0 USA.
Welcome back inside the Gangneung Hockey Center. It's 4-on-4 play for 17 more seconds. And the face-off in front of the Korean replacement goaltender. No real reason other than giving the opportunity of experience, as I believe the decision being made by Seo Kwon-suk. We didn't see anything that potentially led to Lee Jae-woong actually being injured. But nonetheless, of course, as we say, these are golden opportunities for a developing nation still, Republic of Korea. Although they have these Paralympic Games here in less than a year's time, they are trying to develop to become one of the best in this sport of para ice hockey. And, well, how else do you do it than play the best? As, hand getting up there, Han Min-soo maybe fortunate not to have got an elbowing call. Need to be mindful of that position as the player goes by, but that's what ends up happening. There's just so much force coming in from the Americans and presence on this shift. As Han Min-soo will pick it up, and a little bit of feed here for now coming back in the lineup, Cho Byun-suk. And Cho Byun-suk missed a couple of games in this tournament as a result of an impact that he had against a Norwegian player. That was 3 days ago. So good for him to get back involved in a game like this against the U.S.
Yes, he was suspended for a couple of games for a hit on Ole Oiseth, the Norwegian player. And it was Cho Byung-suk getting the sled up and into the chest area of Oiseth, who had to be taken off on a stretcher. Fortunately, he was checked out, he was okay, and he came back and actually scored in the next game for the Norwegians, so that was great to see. And back into the lineup is Cho Byung-suk for this Korean team. Here's an opportunity. These fans are just waiting to erupt here if the Koreans can find a way to score a goal, and they have a couple good looks here towards the end of the third period.
Well, they might pop a bottle or two if they were to get themselves a goal.
Bottle of soju.
Bottle of soju. I have to just find out what that actually is. Maybe later.
It's a delicious Korean liquor. Tried a little bit of the food, a little bit of the drink here, a little bit of everything in Korea since we've been here. It's a phenomenal place to be. And a penalty taken here. So it will be a power play opportunity for Korea with 2 minutes and 53 seconds to go here in the third period. We just talked about it. What a great opportunity this could be for the Korean side to get a goal, and that's a small victory for them if they can find a way to score on this terrific American team. The Republic of Korea will take a timeout here to talk things over. Little under 3 minutes to go. They'll have a 2-minute power play, as into the box for the American side is Paul Shaws. Again, he plays that physical brand of hockey, but sometimes you toe that line, and if you cross it a little bit, you'll end up taking minors. Not what Shaws wants to do, as he is in the box yet again.
And an opportunity, as we say, to get on the board. But of course, they always create that vulnerability with that one player down, that the Americans could, in fact, increase this to an even half dozen in the scoreline just as quick as there might be an opportunity. We shall see what the remaining 2 minutes, or possibly less, in this hockey game has in store, with now Shaws in the box. And the crowd still in anticipation of that goal. Good to see a lot of the hospitality, or the guests, the VIPs, we might say, on the far side. Wonderful facility if you're getting some of the views, and I'm sure we've had fantastic support and visual from our camera crew, and our full thanks and regard to everybody in our team in putting together the package that has been yours to enjoy, hopefully wherever you have been watching. We've had every single game here from the Gangneung 27 World Para Ice Hockey Championships, and this is now Landeros trying to clear it, can't get it out. Han Min-soo keeps it in, and down low, as this is Chung Si-won, and they are looking a little bit more confident here. This looks like a pretty good power play formation. You expect that maybe Chung Si-won, but that left-hand shot of Kim Young-sung, equally one to watch, but he's in front of the goal.
Chung Si-won with an opportunity there. He couldn't get the puck through. Good puck movement like you talk about here, and that shot whips around wide. You really want to try to hit the net there so those shots don't rim around the boards and go out the other way, but there to pick up the puck is Cho Young-jae, and now they get it to the star player, number 14. Good puck movement again here by this Korean team. If they can try to find an opening, a shot on goal, as Cash makes a blocker save, and here for the puck is Chung Si-won.
He does well, one-on-one against Landeros. That's a great redirection, and they do that. They're able to pull something out when you haven't maybe seen it all game. They find a way to be clever with an angle or a late deflection or just a quick transition, and they can make a play on an odd man rush, and you just see the Koreans do some things that you might not otherwise expect from them. they are original and they're creative offensively.
Han-Min Soo with a great play in front of the net there, the 46-year-old on that deflection, and it was sent just far of the far post, but a really good idea there. Trying to get a tip play in front, and if that was on net, Cash wouldn't have had time to react to it. Happy to kill some time here is Rico Roman, just battling against a couple of Koreans in the corner there, and here comes Han-Min Soo as the Koreans look to push the puck up ice.
Oh, it might have worked out well for him. Here they come through with a right-handed shot. There is Chung Si-Wan. He's going to immediately have Landeros on him. Landeros is like a backpack for him as there's a shot, and it might have just gone in, but it's gone to the far corner. And the angle was tough to tell from here that could have been, in fact, redirected and on goal.
Great pressure here from the Koreans. A shot on goal, and it catches Cash a little off guard. He makes an unbalanced save, but a flurry of action here as the power play is now expired. Still 30 seconds to go here in the third period, and that was the best offensive opportunities for the Koreans coming in a short period of time. A really good power play for them.
It was, and they stood strong. They now have Han-Min Soo under duress, trying to come out of his own zone, and from here, the Americans have pretty much done it. There's a big hit, though. They do not let up, and potentially a fallen Korean player who didn't quite expect that as Tyler Karen came in on him, and Lee Jun-sung just got the worst of that one, as I'm not sure he was entirely expecting it. He turned up ice, and whammy.
He's holding his head a little bit there as he turned into that hit, and he did not see Tyler Karen coming there, and that is just getting run over when you're not expecting a hit. Your upper body, it's kind of loose. You're not bracing for that hit, so you really feel it. And it's good to see him skating off the ice under his own power. Lee Ju-sung, 4-year veteran of the sport. He's a multi-sport athlete. So many of these athletes are. Played wheelchair rugby at the national level, and he was on the 2014 Paralympic hockey team here. They finished 7th place in Sochi. They'll be looking for a better result in front of their home crowd as time ticks down, and an impressive win by the Americans.
And a couple of big hits there from the battleship destroyer that is Chris Douglas to finish off this hockey game. But exactly as the Americans wanted to execute, they don't concede a goal against Cash there. Late was probably tested as much as he was at any point in the hockey game. And the mighty U.S. machine continues to reign on. They will, in fact, finish top of the tree and, of course, top of the standings. But it was all but determined anyhow that they were going to be taking on the Canadians in that gold medal match. And it's now officially confirmed, as that is the penultimate preliminary match left in this tournament, as the two coaches will shake hands. And, as always, great respect amongst the coaching staffs in the sport of para ice hockey.
Sportsmanship has been terrific here all tournament long. And a good game there by the Republic of Korea. Again, for so many of these nations, just facing the top team, the Americans, they say, you know what, we're just hoping to learn from this game and try to have a competitive game if possible. It certainly was that. The Koreans, some great looks there at the end of the game to try to get a goal, and Cash had to come up with some big saves. So they'll take a little bit of confidence from that late flurry, knowing that they can at times hang with these top teams. As we mentioned, they will either face Italy or Norway in the bronze medal game. They will either finish 3rd or 4th, depending who wins the final preliminary game here in this tournament, which is still to come today, as we get set for our Player of the Game awards. On the American side, we've been really impressed the last couple of games with the play of number 8, Jack Wallace, a depth forward for them. And he's had a terrific few games. He's getting more ice time from his coaching staff, a real energy guy. He had a couple of goals here in this game, his first of the tournament, his first as a member of Team USA.
Yeah, I would say that Wallace is definitely a good candidate for player of the game. Across on the other side, even Han-Min Soo had a good hockey game on the blue line and a lot of ice time logged. And having to play, we give an underrated evaluation really of the Korean defense as far as what they've done in this tournament. And Han-Min Soo, although we haven't necessarily seen him offensively, he has been dependable defensively. But we'll listen in here now to see what the selections have been today for the player of the game.
The best player of Team Republic of Korea is number 68.
And I promise you folks, we don't know these things. We just go on what we see. It isn't always necessarily the selection, but they do give a pretty good balance across the board. And I think on the cross section of the tournament across 6 games, equally as well, there's a pretty fair distribution that most every player that has been putting a good effort forward and deserves acknowledgement generally does get their due, as it does kind of come out in the wash, and it is Han Min-soo who does get acknowledged for Republic of Korea.
4th World Championship for Han Min-soo. He's a veteran. I think he might have eyes and ears down at ice level, Brent, personally, but no, that was a good call by you, absolutely, as he was a guy that you called his number a lot in this game. He was very noticeable for this team.
So he will await the selection, and we hope for Wallace, who scores his first World Championship goal, and whether or not he would get honored with that, just as a good story, but we'll listen now. And somebody knows what they're doing down there.
That might be the first time we've gone 2 for 2 all tournament.
Yep.
We'll take it, and Wallace, little bump in the road there on the way up to get his award.
Yep.
But that might be the only blemish on his game, as he's had a phenomenal afternoon. He gets a couple, and couple points at the very least anyways, as he's had a great game for this American team. Scores a goal here, scored the final goal of the game for the Americans, the 5th goal for them. Handshake here. Sportsmanship has been tremendous all tournament long, and it's good to see a number of players on each team getting these Player of the Game awards, getting recognized for their contributions in this tournament. And the only thing left to do now is do what we've done at the end of every USA game in this tournament, listen to the Star Spangled Banner.
Please honor the anthem of Team USA.
관중 여러분, 승리팀의 국가 연주가 있겠습니다. 미국팀 국기를 향해 주시기 바랍니다.
Fans, the competition is now over. The next game is at 7 o'clock, featuring Team Norway and Team Italy.
The Americans coming in and taking care of business here, spoiling the penultimate match for Republic of Korea, but I wouldn't say so. I think equally an opportunity for Republic of Korea to learn from the best. 2-0 defeat to Canada, a 5-0 defeat here to the United States of America. On paper, you might suggest then that the Americans in that gold medal match tomorrow maybe have an advantage over Canada in the way they were able to perform against Republic of Korea, if that's in fact the benchmark that we're looking at. It's not always as easy to read in as that, as far as the results that one team has against the other and vice versa in a triangle like that, but certainly the Americans have been able to show how to elevate the game at the right time and in key situations. And there wasn't a player for the United States today that I thought, you know what, they really needed to play a little bit better. There seems to always be a solid performance from them when it matters most.
It was a complete game up and down the lineup, as you talk about, for the United States of America. And they look just as good in this game as they have all tournament, so they take that into the gold medal game tomorrow against the Canadians. There was a really closely contested game between Canada and the U.S. already in this tournament. And yes, the Americans do go in as the favorites in the gold medal game. We see the Republic of Korea saluting the fans here. Very happy to see all the people that come out and see them compete in this tournament. And as they are now done their preliminary games, they sit in a great spot right now in the 3rd spot. They could slide all the way down to 4th. It is possible, but no matter what happens, they will play for a bronze medal. So competing for a medal in this World Championship would have definitely been a goal for this Republic of Korea team. They have realized that goal. We'll take a look at the highlights here in the 3rd period as the Americans were able to get another goal. They win this game 5-0, but for the Republic of Korea, a great test for them as they get set for their medal game tomorrow. And towards the end of that period, they had a power play chance. They had some really good looks as well, so they'll take that at the end of this game as we see the goal here from Jack Wallace, his first ever wearing a USA jersey. That's got to be a thrill for him.
Magical moment, and he'll remember this the rest of his days as he comes in and just scoops one right up there and scoop it up, Buttercup. Up she goes in the top drawer and put that one right where you want it. That'll be a puck that he will keep, and no doubt it'll be signed either by the trainer or maybe a member of his team, and put a little tape on that and say Jack Wallace scored here at the Republic of Korea Gangneung 2017 World Para Ice Hockey Championships. As we look across, and Cash got tested late a little bit. There was that power play opportunity for Korea, and then he almost there as it came in a little bit hot, a little bit high, and it just shows you right there. You assume sometimes, if you're not watching closely, that the goaltenders are just on a sled and moving around on the seat. Well, no, they of course are on skates as well, and you have to be entirely balanced and leveled, because you could end up getting rockered there if you're too far away and get hit with a lob shot. We've seen that happen in this tournament. But let's have a look at the match stats of the game and have this look at that story as well. 21 shots to 9. That was a pretty fair reflection. 9 shots for Republic of Korea. Pretty good going for them, because they have been able to score 2 goals from 7. So they got more shots today, actually, than against the Americans than they did against some of the other teams in the tournament.
Yeah, a really strong finish for the Republic of Korea, as we mentioned, and for them, certainly a respectable game here against this high-powered American team. The United States get the 5-0 win. I misspoke a little bit earlier. I said Jack Wallace had 2 goals in the game. He had the 1 goal. It was the final goal for the U.S. He was all over the ice. It seemed like he had more. He had some great opportunities in this game, but a great thrill for him. And why don't we hear from number 8 for Team USA as he again scores his first international goal.
All right, Jack, you just got your first international goal in Team USA's win over the host nation. How are you feeling right now?
Pretty good. It was a long time coming. You know, we were getting chances all game. It's good to finally finish on one. You know, feeling good for the gold medal game.
And heading into gold medal game tomorrow against Canada, what adjustments will you make after today?
Probably fix the forecheck a little bit, maybe on my part at least. I mean, you know, we had good pressure all game long, but you know, there's just some little things that maybe to tweak.
And what would it mean for Team USA to win the world title 1 year leading out to the Paralympics?
I mean, it would be huge. It builds so much momentum going into the Paralympics, and it just builds the confidence in the legacy even more, especially with Coach Sauer passing in the middle of the year. You know, this win would be for him.
Thank you.
Jack Wallace was one of the best hockey names you're going to hear in the business, and they're a great moment for him to get acknowledged, of course, the player of the game, and to get the interview there at the end, and I'm sure probably said his hello to his folks as well. So a great action, of course, as we expected today from the U.S., but we have more still to come today, Mike.
Norway versus Italy. It is the 21st and final game here in the preliminary round. Puck drop coming up at 7 o'clock local time here in the Republic of Korea. This is a huge, huge game. If the Norwegians can win it in regulation, they will play the Republic of Korea for bronze. Anything less, and it will be Italy. So a lot on the line in our final game of preliminary action as we get set for the medal games tomorrow and that 5th, 6th game again, which has a whole lot of meaning because the top 5 teams do qualify for the Paralympics in just under a year's time. A phenomenal finish coming up here to the preliminary round, and we hope we see you then. It's been a great day of action so far.
Well, we have enjoyed it. It is getting to that point with only 4 games left. And if you've been sharing the coverage with us, hopefully you've been enjoying it as much as we have. We will join you for more from Brent Pope and Mike Kelly with that action. Italy versus Norway coming up 7 o'clock local time.